Testing is another issue, and nearly 14,000 COVID tests left unprocessed in a Pleasanton-based lab. Now, many customers waiting nearly 2 weeks to get results. You asked, and now the I-Team is getting answers. ABC 7 News reporter Stephanie Sierra is here now with the testing troubles. Steph?
That's right, Kristen. We've heard from many of you who've been anxiously waiting for your COVID PCR test results from Virus Geeks. You were promised a 48-hour turnaround time, but now it's nearly 2 weeks later. So tonight we have an answer for you about why it took so long.
7 days and counting. That's how long Marilyn Moore and Jenny Shao have been waiting for their COVID test results.
And they said they would call back. Well, they never called back.
The two took a PCR COVID test through Virus Geeks, a Bay Area-based biohealth technology company that has more than a dozen COVID test sites across San Francisco and the peninsula.
I have an update for you.
Okay.
We found out where your sample has been over the past week.
According to the company, turns out nearly 14,000 specimens collected last week have been sitting in a lab for 7 days, all untouched.
My goodness.
I'm very sorry about these events, and they have a right to be mad.
Virus Geeks CEO Frank Lee reached out to the I-Team following our story, saying he takes full responsibility for what happened. Facing heightened testing demands from Omicron, he says his company relied on another Pleasanton-based lab, Diacarta, to help process the overflow. But days went by, still nothing.
Didn't feel right, so something's going on, right? We have a problem with Maripay because now we're going on day 3, day 4, day 5.
When were you first notified there was an issue?
So that's an issue. So that's interesting.
Interesting because Lee says the lab blamed the delay on a data error, but when his team showed up to check it out, they saw this.
To our horror, they were left in the bags, original bags that we sent to the laboratory.
Lee says the roughly 30 bags of samples are all from the company's test sites at the San Mateo County Events Center and the Monterey Airport.
Did they indicate to you what happened, what the problem was?
They said they have only one scientist. So to give you an idea, to process 5,000 samples a day, you need a minimum of 3 scientists.
The ABC 7 News I-Team reached out to Diacarta for further comment, but the company denied Virus Geeks sample bags were sitting in their facility for over a week, despite these pictures showing the company's tags on them in their facility. Diacarta says a portion of the samples were processed, but admitted to the I-Team. Due to increasing workload from our own customers, we told them to take samples back. Virus Geeks has pulled back testing at all of their locations across Northern California as the company works to process the influx of samples left in these bags.
How long do you think it will take to clear out that backlog?
I anticipate by Thursday, everything should be done.
So we checked back.
Do you think that will happen today?
I anticipate the backlog will be cleared up by Friday.
It's now been 10 days since these specimens were collected.
It essentially defeats the purpose.
Absolutely.
It defeats the purpose, but still comes with a price tag, billed to insurance companies. And ultimately, taxpayers will be picking up part of the tab for those uninsured. Plus, the remaining backlog raises concerns about the quality of the specimens. Lee told the I-Team.
Samples remain viable up to 21 days in ambient temperatures. So, within room temperature, they're fine.
But Kenji Obadia, the manager of the Sanford Clinical Virology Lab, disagrees.
Would you be concerned about the quality of specimens sitting in room temperature for a period of 6 to 7 days?
For me, it's very unlikely that you have accurate results if the samples are kept at room temperature for that up to that amount of time. And if the nucleic acid has degraded, you can have a false negative result.
Customers like Moore, for example, learned she tested negative from her Virus Geeks swab last Monday, but was positive on an antigen test the next day.
Oh, I know things can change from one day to the next, but I don't know. It's fishy.
So we brought this to authorities in San Mateo County.
What is your team doing to look into this?
San Mateo County is actively working with Virus Geeks to try to improve the test turnaround time situation. That unfortunately, there are staffing disruptions that have affected so many sectors, including test processing vendors, and with such high demand.
Virus Geeks has previously provided testing to several colleges and high schools in San Mateo County and hosted the largest scale test site at the San Mateo Marriott before expanding to the event center.
What are you doing to ensure that this doesn't happen again?
And make sure that we keep the volume to our capacity. For all you folks that are out there that are mad, I'm terribly sorry.
Now, Lee says the company is adding a new lab that will increase their capacity from processing 10,000 tests per day to roughly 70,000 tests per day. And he plans to keep all testing in-house to avoid this in the future. Now, in the meantime, San Mateo County says if this backlog persists, they will be looking into other companies to assume the test site at the event center. For the I-Team, Stephanie Sierra, ABC 7 News.
Stephanie, thank you.